I look insane, but this is part 2 of my eating disorder story, and I need you to remember the entire time that it does get better, but it's going to get really fucked up first. So enjoy! Yes, my hair was falling, yes, I was losing weight, all that stuff was happening, but not once did I think there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. I did not think that starving myself like that was wrong. I thought I'm trying to be healthy. Well, if anything, the more I starved myself, the more in control I felt. It sounds insane to normal people, but I felt like I was in control because I was controlling everything that goes in my body. I just didn't know what was wrong, but I knew that I was drowning in the voices of my head. It would scream at me for eating the little things, and it would scream at me for not walking as much as I should. It would scream at me for eating bread, but I was also in a toxic household, so which just made things a million times worse. So there I am, pretending to be a happy, bubbly girl in school, at home. I'm not close to my parents at all, and since no one spoke about mental health, especially in brown households, no one talks about mental health. I didn't even know I had a problem. I did not even know this was an eating disorder. But at least I had a voice in my head. And it might treat me like shit, but I feel like I have someone. It felt like my best friend. And if I did eat something wrong, it felt like months of work, years of work that I'd done is out of the window. I was still me. I was still a curious person. I think a lot of people don't really pick up on someone having an eating disorder is because we are great liars. We are great actors. We will do anything to make sure we don't eat. Anything to make sure you don't find out we are not eating. Anything to be skinny, hot, whatever image we have in our brain. I lived in New York and I always wanted to try new foods. Yes, I'm starving myself all day, but at night I would look up all the cafes that are opening, all the ice cream shops that are opening. So I would go after school or during my school hours, because listen, I had no freedom growing up. I come from a very toxic family. So in between my school hours, I would go get ice cream, but I would only take like 2-3 bites and that's it. I would take a picture from my Snapchat, take few bites and that's it. That's all I ever did. I didn't eat breakfast, I didn't eat lunch, I would skip dinner just because I had those few bites. I was still myself. Eating disorder people are still who they are. They might be drowning in darkness, but they're still who they are. And I was a curious person. I wanted to try every food in New York. I wanted to try every new thing that come up. I was still a foodie. I think people have this misconception that if you have eating disorder, you hate food or something. No, I love food. I love food to death. I have always loved food. Loved food to the point that I allowed it to control my entire life. The point where I found myself drowning in the numbers of these calories in my head and wondering if it ever gets better. So to the people who are watching and know me from high school, how are you so skinny eating all that food? I wasn't eating it. I was taking few bites. Because in my head, the taste isn't just in the few bites. I don't have to finish it. But I was starving myself for the entire day and all the other things. It was in school. I saw someone talk about it in health class and it felt like someone's calling me out. I felt attacked, I felt scared, and I remember going home early that day because I didn't know. It's like something just hit me like a truck. I remember sitting in the class and the person is going over what eating disorder is like and stuff like that. And I went home and I opened my laptop and I looked up eating disorder and it broke my entire being. You know, I want to believe that a part of me knew it was wrong, but I don't think so. I think I thought I was doing the right thing. Knowing that it was an illness kind of just fucked me up in the head a bit more. I felt terrified. Like, why me, you know, out of everyone else? Why do I have to have this? I remember looking up on YouTube eating disorder videos and stuff like that, trying to know more, and I didn't see anyone who looked like me talk about it. The truth is, I only saw white people. I saw white girls, and it was validating and nice to know that someone else also knows what it feels like to have eating disorder. I started watching eating disorder recovery videos, which was super nice to me, but I wanted to see someone who was me and who looked like me, and I knew from that point on that I'm gonna publish my book and I'm gonna make a YouTube video on eating disorder, and I'm going to help everyone I possibly can. I remember screaming in my writing, like, if just someone spoke about it, maybe I would have stopped myself a long time ago. So in my head, if I knew, I wouldn't have felt so crazy. I remember feeling so angry that just because no one spoke about it, maybe I could have saved myself way earlier, but I couldn't because it's not even something people even talk about out loud. But as the time went on, it didn't get better. Just because you know you have an eating disorder, it does not get better. You have numbers memorized. You have worked so hard all these years starving yourself to look like the way you look. Eating food again? Eating food again is like ruining all the hard work I have done. I don't want to eat again. I want to stay who I am. It was weird. For a really long time, I didn't even want to get help. I worked too hard to be at where I am, to set these habits I have. I'm not about to put that away. But there come a time, first year of college it was, where I thought maybe I should get help. That this was too much, that I couldn't handle it anymore. Eating disorder also affects your relationships and your friendships. Like, I remember someone bought me a cake and I took more than 2 bites and I started crying my eyes out. I remember having a full-on fight with the person, like, how dare you bring me the cake that your mom made? Can you believe it? That's how it affects your relationships. And I think it also affects your mood, but you don't realize it just because it's happening to you. The first year of college is, I was doing an internship. I was waking up at 6, going to the gym. I was super thin and I was still going to the gym. Like, why am I going to the gym when I'm not even eating? What's the point? But I remember I was in such a dark place in my life that I couldn't get out of my eating disorder. I never thought I would be able to. Like, there was no fucking way. You know how drowning and draining that is? I was sure I'm not gonna be able to get out of it. I remember doing this internship, working my ass off, working extra hours. I would eat one salad during the work and with no dressing, no salt, nothing, just plain chicken and plain veggies. Would go home and tell people that I ate already. Since I'm Muslim, we were fasting and fasting was the best time of my life. I don't have to eat. And then at night, I would take few bites when you break your fast. I would hide the food and I would throw it out in the garbage. Once my dad caught me and he was like, you're throwing away the food. And I was like, oh, I just didn't like it. My dad did catch up to it a little bit. He was like, she's losing too much weight. She's barely eating. Something is wrong. Blah, blah, blah. She needs to eat. But they try to force feed and that just doesn't work when you have eating disorder. I think it was more of a coping mechanism because if I'm fasting, working all day, I don't have to worry about counting calories and doing all that. When the second year started, I was like, I'm gonna get help. This is my time to get help. I'm gonna get help. I don't want to feel this way anymore. And I read enough articles and I watched enough videos and I don't want to drown like that. I don't want to feel this way for the rest of my life. And every article I read, it was like most people never get out of it. They relapse a lot. They relapse a lot. Everything felt so negative. And I was like, no, I'm going to help myself. I'm going to get back up. I'm going to help myself. There was an eating disorder hospital near my home. And I looked that up. I was willing to put myself in a hospital just so I don't have to live life like that. And the very next day, something happened. Just when I thought I'm ready to get help, God is like, no fucking way, bitch. You're done.